And we are underway at the Ahmad bin Ali Stadium in Al Rayyan. Peru playing in all red. Kick us off. Gianluca Lapadula with the privilege of the first touch of the night. And it is a cacophony of noise being generated by this vibrant Peruvian fan base inside the stadium. Australia are aiming for a 5th consecutive appearance at the FIFA World Cup finals. Peru are aiming to complete back-to-back qualifications after their long-awaited appearance at Russia 2018. An early kick for Gallese, who spoke to the media in the build-up to this game. He said he is expecting a tight match. He agreed with his manager that neither team has an advantage coming into this playoff. An early opportunity, and it fell to Hrustic, who couldn't quite gather the ball into his control. He is one to watch. Ajdin Hrustic scored the late winner in the decisive fixture against the United Arab Emirates just 6 nights ago here at this stadium. A 2-1 victory for Australia, which earned their place here in this intercontinental playoff. Martin Boyle late with the challenge on Tapia. Tapia is often referred to as the anchor of this Peru team. An important presence at the base of the midfield. Here is Advincula with a heavy touch. Nathaniel Atkinson starting at right back today on his 23rd birthday. So Trent Sainsbury left on the bench. He hasn't played a competitive game since mid-April. Peru haven't quite cleared, and it was worth a drive for Mitch Duke. Route one from the green and gold. Zambrano failed to clear, and it was Duke with the early strike. Hrustic was able to half-steal possession, but now Advincula attacking the space. He is a player of real pace. And showing there that he is a handful when he comes forward, Luis Advincula, who tonight moves into 4th position in the all-time appearance list for Peru. This is Carrillo with the early cross, and the first Peruvian chance of the night falls to Lapadula. He made a habit of scoring the opening goal in World Cup qualification, and his movement was good there towards the near post. Gianluca Lapadula. So a couple of early sights at goal inside the opening 4 minutes in Al Rayyan. Trauco finding Cueva. Cayens was closed down. This central defensive partnership of Alexander Cayens and Carlos Zambrano really came to prominence in the latter stages of the World Cup qualification campaign, which is exactly when Peru began to find form. Gareca's side picked up 0 wins from their opening 5 qualification matches. It was on the 8th of June last year that they won 2-1 in Quito, a result which really ignited their bid to reach Qatar 2022, and they clinched their place in this intercontinental playoff in March when they beat Paraguay 2-0 at home. They finished ahead of Colombia, Chile, Paraguay, Bolivia and Venezuela in the group. Normally, this intercontinental playoff would be played over 2 legs, but the fixture calendar has been congested by COVID, and consequently it is just 1 leg at a neutral venue. And this stadium will be one of the World Cup venues later on this year. It will host 7 matches, including 1 knockout game in the round of 16. Forward by Tapia. A simple claim for Matty Ryan. And now Aaron Mooy. A neat pass around the corner. This is Jackson Irvine. And this is a super run coming inside Luis Advíncula. Mooy. Superb vision. A drop of the shoulder from Krustic and a drive towards goal once again from distance. It is Mitch Duke, who needed no second invitation. And this is a glimpse of the problems that Krustic can cause, drifting between the lines. Krustic enjoyed a season of silverware with Eintracht Frankfurt, winning the UEFA Europa League on penalties in Seville. The referee that night was Slavko Vincic, who is in charge this evening. Boyle couldn't quite keep the ball in play. It will be Miguel Trauco to take the throw-in. A very experienced left-back. Was named in the team of the tournament for the Copa America 2019, Trauco. A Copa America in which Peru reached the final. And here is Trauco. Super 1-2. Mooy with the challenge. And Mooy coming forward. The lofted pass is well read by Cayens, who turns it back towards Gallese. Advíncula looking long. Was read by Behic. Jackson Irvine into the feet of Duke. And here is Bailey Wright. Playing in central defence with young Kai Rolls this evening. It is a big night for the number 17. Pressure on Ryan, who is looking for Atkinson. And it is a foul committed by Trauco. One-off games suit the Australian DNA, says Graham Arnold. Said ahead of this match that his boys are in great spirits and feeling fresh mentally. Spoke about the psychological lift it has given them to win their 2 recent fixtures played here in Qatar, the vital one against the UAE and also a friendly against Jordan. Gonzalez for Peña. Advíncula. This is Carrillo, who was the man of the match when these sides met in Sochi 4 years ago. Scored the opening goal of what was a 2-0 win for Peru. Both sides were already eliminated before kick-off. It was France and Denmark who progressed from that group. And both France and Denmark are in the group that Peru or Australia will join, along with Tunisia. Whoever wins tonight will face the world champions on the 22nd of November. Whoever wins tonight will play all three of their group stage matches at the Al Janoub Stadium. Another excellent turn. Back came Tapia to intercept and halt the progress of Matthew Leckie. Leckie played as a centre-forward against the United Arab Emirates, but reverts to left wing tonight. Foul on Cueva. Christian Cueva was Peru's top goal scorer in the qualification campaign with 5. He is known as something of a genie. They call him Aladdin. A real box of tricks. A supremely talented player. Operating from the left tonight in the number 10 shirt, Christian Cueva, who had the misfortune of missing a penalty against Denmark in Peru's opening group stage match in Russia 4 years ago. A game which Peru dominated for large spells but didn't take their chances. And it is Cueva who proved a handful there for Nathaniel Atkinson. First yellow card of the night is for the birthday boy. And his foul presents Peru with the opportunity to try and deliver. Matty Ryan organising his defence. Cueva leaves this for Trauco, so it will be a left-footed delivery. Trauco delivers, and the delivery looked good. And a loose touch from Gonzalez enabled Australia to clear. Here comes the deep diagonal, and Matty Ryan came in commanding fashion. Asked a lot of Boyle. Here is Cayennes, who plays his football with New York City. Behic forced backwards. Now Bailey Wright. And just listen to the noise coming from the Peruvian spectators. Almost like a home fixture for Peru, but they are a long way from home. Moy lifting the pass for Boyle, taken on the chest. Boyle is a real threat on the right flank. Winger born in Aberdeen and raised in Scotland. And a deep ball which asked a real question there of Trauco. It was Boyle trying to come in behind his opposite number 6. So a corner for Australia. Aaron Moy heading across to take it. Such a wise head within this Australian team, Mooy. Plenty of aerial threat in the centre. A quarter of an hour played at the Ahmad bin Ali Stadium. Mooy's delivery, and the header is just too high from Jackson Irvine. Irvine scored the opening goal of that crucial match against the UAE. Scored 4 times in total in qualification, twice against Taiwan, once against Kuwait, and that goal last week here at this stadium, which gave Australia a very short-lived lead, but with 6 minutes of the match remaining, Hrustic fired home from the edge of the box, and it was a 2-1 win, which earned Australia their ticket to this intercontinental playoff. Strong challenge from Sergio Peña, which has been penalised. Peña is one of the players who really grew in stature as the qualification campaign evolved for Peru. Plays his club football in Sweden, Sergio Peña, with Malmo. Scored twice in the qualifiers, once against Chile and once against Bolivia. And here is the long ball towards Duke. A strong and comprehensive shoulder challenge from Carlos Zambrano, the Boca Juniors defender, who is playing alongside a club teammate in Luis Advíncula. Graham Arnold was watching from the stands in Sochi when these sides met at the FIFA World Cup 4 years ago, and took over just after that tournament. Mooy for Boyle. Boyle went for goal. Cueva. Tapia was aiming for Carrillo. It is simple for right. Atkinson under pressure from Cueva, sends it back to Matty Ryan. Rolls. Now as is Bekic. Patient play from Australia. Hrustic has drifted wide, lifted into the centre, flicked on by Duke. Peña was under pressure, found Carrillo. Round the corner for Advíncula, back again, there's the 1-2. Advíncula has pace. And across came Kai Rolls very effectively. Behic. Mooy. Boyle was peeling wide, hugging the touchline now. Atkinson gives it to him. Back again now with Nathaniel Atkinson. And it is a good passage of play for the green and gold. Hrustic's pass, another good one. Accurate for Boyle, who has gone beyond 2 challenges and into the box. And the cross was teasing just in front of Duke. It is a warning sign for Peru. Martin Boyle is such a threat on that right flank. Danced away from Cueva and Trauco. One back by Moy. Carrillo dispossessing Jackson Irvine. Gonzalez. Peña. Peña through the centre. Atkinson with an important touch, closed down now by Lapadula. A risk taken by Zambrano, who is in possession now. And the risk taken by Gallese as well. Confident play inside their own penalty area. There was little margin for error there. Peru have worked it. They cross the halfway line. Back again now to Andre Carrillo. Cueva drifting infield. Peña forward for Cueva, whose first time pass is underhit and seized upon by Assis Bekic. This stadium, as all of the World Cup venues in Qatar, has air conditioning at pitch level. Temperatures earlier on today hit 38 degrees Celsius. Moy was closed down but still managed to come away with the ball. Hrustic first time has it back from Trauco, and a stretching Duke couldn't quite control. This stadium is one of 8 World Cup venues. In terms of capacity, the venues range from 40,000 seats to 80,000. It is the Lusail Stadium, which will host the World Cup final on the 18th of December. That is the National Day of Qatar. The tournament kicks off on the 21st of November. The opening fixture is Senegal against the Netherlands, to be played at the Al Tumama Stadium. 2 World Cup spots still up for grabs. A difficult one for Carrillo to control, and didn't he do well? Trauco has it back from Carrillo. This is Gonzalez, forward by Tapia. The challenge flew in there from Duke. A painful one for Sergio Peña, who is back on his feet now. Well as travelling in such numbers to come and support the team tonight, the Peruvian spectators have also paid visits to the team hotel, and they have made a carnival atmosphere, showing their love and support for the Blanquirroja, the white and red. Carrillo. Tapia was aiming for Advincula. Cueva forward. Cueva and Carrillo have swapped flanks. Carrillo through the centre now. Here is Christian Cueva, looking to unlock the green and gold defence. Carrillo into the box, and Cueva goes down. Referee clearly indicates there's no foul. Through the legs of Rolls. And no foul from Jackson Irvine. So it is a goal kick, which Australia have played short. Right. Up the line towards Duke, read by Tapia. Lapadula's touch, and then the pass was just beyond Carrillo. Slightly careless from Christopher Gonzalez. Gonzalez plays his club football in Peru with Sporting Cristal. Has won 2 Peruvian league titles as well as 2 in Chile. In tonight for the absent Yotun. Yoshimar Yotun, not fit enough to participate. Australia playing without Jason Davidson, Adam Taggart, and longer-term absentees like Harry Souttar, who ruptured a cruciate ligament against Saudi Arabia back in November. Tom Rogic is unavailable due to personal reasons. In some ways, this Peru team is a new-looking side compared to 4 years ago. No Guerrero, no Farfan. But equally, there is still a large core of the squad that remains. And one of those is Trauco, who failed to keep full control of the ball, but has managed to win a throw-in, taken by Gonzalez. Peña. Cueva. Away by Rolls. Space on the flank for Advíncula. There are bodies in the centre. Luis Advíncula to Carrillo. Zambrano striding forward from defence. Cueva takes over. Delicate pass in towards Lapadula. Neat feet from the centre forwards. And a clearance, a very effective one from Atkinson. Peru just beginning to find a groove here. Both head coaches at the very edge of their technical areas. Carrillo, back to Advíncula. Now Zambrano for Cayennes. Trauco, good awareness. Tapia. Graham Arnold did say in the build-up to this match that Peru have discipline all over the pitch. They're keeping the ball well here. Carrillo. Asked a little too much of Peña. And there is Gareca, who incidentally scored the goal that qualified Argentina for the 1986 FIFA World Cup. It was a goal he scored at the Monumental Stadium in Buenos Aires against Peru, and it was a goal that cost Peru their place at that World Cup finals. So for many years, you could say Gareca was a less loved figure in Peruvian football, but since taking charge of the national team in February of 2015, he has done a sparkling job. Oversaw qualification for Russia 2018, took Peru to the final of the 2019 Copa America, where they were defeated by Brazil. They reached the semi-finals 2 years later, and here they are competing for a spot in Group D of the upcoming World Cup finals in Qatar. Trauco volleys the cross. It is left by Behic. Aziz Behic, whose parents are Turkish Cypriot. They migrated to Australia, where their son Aziz was born in Melbourne. He started all 3 matches at Russia 2018. A very ambidextrous fullback. Trauco with the long ball up towards Cristian Cueva. Couldn't quite control it, but there is the display of gratitude for the service. Just seemed to slip slightly under pressure from Behic. Plenty for Arnold to ponder. He was the assistant coach when Australia competed at the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. And that was when Australia last won a match at a World Cup finals. They beat Serbia, but have been eliminated without a win at the group stage of both Brazil 2014 and Russia 2018. Hrustic, space for Boyle. And once again, Boyle tries to come inside 2 opponents. He's gone down inside the penalty area. And the pass from Alexander Cayens is slightly inaccurate. Graham Arnold very keen that this challenge should be reviewed. It was Gonzalez who seemed to lose his balance as he made the challenge. And Slavko Vincic has received approval from Juan Martinez. And we're off and running again. This is Atkinson. Now Bailey Wright, who has enjoyed success at club level this season, helping Sunderland gain promotion to the 2nd tier of English football via the playoffs. Can he enjoy more playoff glory tonight? Bailey Wright, the number 8 in central defence for Australia. Here is young Kai Rolls. A big night for the 23-year-old from New South Wales, who is a big fan of surf and skate. His first competitive full international appearance was last week against the UAE. He came through it with flying colours and gets the approval of the manager to start again tonight. Trauco's foul, Australia's free kick. Aaron Moy standing over it. And the referee just asking Cueva to retreat the full distance. Boyle. Atkinson. Boyle again. This time Trauco with an effective challenge. Gonzalez inside. Comes back to Cueva, a lapse in concentration. And it is off for an Australian throw-in, just in front of Gareca, whose frustration is palpable. Gallese predicted a tight game. It has been tight so far. Just over 10 minutes until half-time. A couple of early sights at goal. One for Mitch Duke and one for Gianluca Lapadula. But not too much in the way of goalmouth action since then. There was the enterprising run from Martin Boyle and his cross which flashed across goal ahead of Duke. Peru happy to play short from the back, and Australia happy to press. Peña in on Lecky. Forward by Rolls, plenty on it, and it runs all the way through to the gloves of Gallese. Pedro Gallese, who saved a penalty in Caracas in November, and it was an absolutely vital save. It effectively earned Peru 2 points, and without those 2 points they wouldn't be here tonight. Pedro Gallese, more than 90 appearances for the national side, a star of the MLS, plays for Orlando City. Lapadula just lunging into his opponent there. And having received the foul, Rolls wasn't too keen to take the free kick. Moy gives it straight to him. And now he looks long, up towards Duke. Huge leap from the centre forward. And there is the apology for not making full use of the service. Duke scored 5 goals in the qualification campaign. His most recent international goal came against China in November. He gets the nod to start tonight. Jamie McLaren is a substitute, as he was a week ago against the UAE. This time Gallese goes long. Peña. Lapadula chasing. Moy retreating and hooking towards Lecky. It runs through now to Zambrano. Advincula over the top. Too much on the pass, and it is simple for Ryan. Matty Ryan, who plays his club football in Spain with Real Sociedad. He's been playing in Europe since 2013. Has played in Belgium and England, as well as Spain. Anticipation from Cueva. This is Trauco. Peña, tricky one to control, but control he did, and then drew the challenge from Jackson Irvine. He felt he was fouled, nothing given by the referee, so it is a throw-in. Up the line by Trauco. Cueva, delicate touch round the corner of Nathaniel Atkinson, and he is still posing problems. Christian Cueva, he thought he'd won a corner. The referee had a different vision. Qatar will become the smallest nation ever to host a World Cup finals later this year. Space for Hrustic. Martin Boyle has options in the centre. Boyle with a delicate cross, and it was Irvine who'd made a very deliberate run towards the penalty spot and met the cross with real purpose. Couldn't direct the header on target. It is a decent chance for the midfielder. Could have played his international football with Scotland, Jackson Irvine. His father is from Aberdeen, and he has plenty of club experience playing in Scotland, mostly with Ross County, as well as in England with Hull City. He moved to Germany last year. Moi. Real battle in the midfield between him and Sergio Peña. Peña's been penalised. In fact, it was Christopher Gonzalez with the infringement. Just 5 minutes until half-time. It has been a tight opening 40 minutes. A set piece now from which Australia will look to profit. Ajdin Hrustic and Aaron Moi stand over the free kick. It is left for Hrustic. Into the box it goes. Away by Zambrano. And all the way back now to Matty Ryan. As well as becoming the smallest nation ever to host a World Cup finals, Qatar will become the first team since Italy in 1934 to play their maiden World Cup match on home soil. Boyle. He went beyond Tapia. Atkinson wins it back and wins the throw-in. Gareca, a bundle of energy on the sideline. His side having to defend now. Australia having the better of the closing minutes of the first half. Boyle's cross looks a good one. So much pace and venom on it. And back came Carrillo to clear. Boyle has been Australia's brightest spark so far. A live wire on the right wing. Once again, it will be Moi to deliver. In it comes from the midfielder. Peru haven't quite cleared. This is Behic under pressure, and there is an infringement. This time it is Sergio Peña. And so another set-piece opportunity. Can Australia make more of this one? It is from slightly wider. And it is the experienced Aaron Moi heading across to take it. In from Moi, flicked on by Leckie, right with the pullback, and a chance for Jackson Irvine in the centre. Well, the flag has gone up because Bailey Wright was offside. Perhaps he knew it. Seemed an unusual decision not to go for goal. Moi wins the header, and then the second challenge in the midfield. Leckie giving chase, Advincula wins it. This is Carrillo flicking it over the top, and Luis Advincula is taking on Leckie, and he has pace to burn, and there's the cross. Well cleared by Rolls. It is a heavy touch from Boyle, which works out well. And now Hrustic, first time inside. There is the Peruvian anchor, Renato Tapia. We are on the cusp of half-time. Atkinson away. Boyle. There will be a minimum of 1 additional minute. Behic over the top for Irvine. Zambrano had moved wide and made the clearance, now has to retreat. Irvine was happy to leave the throw in for Behic. Final action of the first half. Superb from Moy, and the cross is cleared by Zambrano. And there was some hesitation, which has been seized upon by Cueva. Peru coming forward on the counter. Andre Carrillo taking on Behic. Carrillo still didn't quite catch the cross as he intended, and that brings the first half to a close. Slavko Vincic blows his whistle. Peru couldn't quite take advantage of the counter at the end. It has been a tight opening 45 minutes in Al Rayyan. The score is Australia 0, Peru 0.
Yes, it's edgy, it's nervy, and it's goalless at the break at the Amir Bin Ali Stadium. Nothing between Australia and Peru in the opening 45 minutes. Looks like having a little chat on the pitch, aren't they? As we just cut to Australia. I would say, out of the two, Australia will feel the happier of the two. 4 attempts on goal, none on target. Peru only with 1 attempt. But as we were seeing earlier on, it is a home game. They are not happy, Peru. At half-time, we'll get the thoughts of Nick Summerby and Didier Domi on our return. This, the Intercontinental Playoff to decide the 31st team that will qualify for the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. It's still goalless between Australia and Peru. After Peru haven't been able to get on the ball?
Yeah, both with more Peru has to get better on the ball. They need more runs as well in the back of the defenses. Because when you see Ball, Moy and the Kitson, they really work together. It's difficult just to get Cueva on good ball. Carrillo as well on the right side. So yeah, they need more movement. They need more runs in behind just to create a little bit more danger and more secure as well in the midfield. As I told you, they don't get those passes with a little bit of risk, just to get Lapadula or get Cueva a little bit higher on the pitch, and they're really cautious. They're really tense, as you were saying. And yeah, the experiences with Australia, they don't like those kind of game, Peru, because they're not used to, and they have to be, more freedom, more risk, because that's their play.
Here we go then. Well, goalless at the break, extra time and penalties if required. This to replace the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. The commentator Tim Lee.
And the second period is underway. Australia in the green and gold, kicking from right to left. Australia are seeking a 5th consecutive appearance at the World Cup finals. Not since 2002 have they been absent from the showpiece event. On that occasion, they lost out to Uruguay in the Intercontinental Playoff. They made up for it 4 years later, defeating Uruguay on penalties. For 2010 and 2014, they booked an automatic slot, and then in reaching Russia, they had to overcome Honduras in the playoff. Behic over the top, asking the question of Zambrano. Comes back from Duke. Lapadula. And a clever header from Peña. Space now for Gonzalez. He has support from Cueva. This is Cueva. Into the box he goes. The cutback for Christopher Gonzalez. Cueva again. Tapia had his pocket picked there. Irvine's pass came off the referee. Here is Aaron Mooy, who was one of the absentees for Australia's home defeat against Japan in March. A 2-0 reverse which extinguished any hopes of automatic qualification. Australia were without 10 key players through illness and injury for that defeat. Here is Boyle, who posed so many problems in the first half. Martin Boyle, who now plays his club football in Saudi Arabia. And here come Australia again. Mooy shifting onto the right boot. In came the challenge, and it was a good one. A possible break now for Gareca's side. Cueva has given the ball away. This is Leckie. One back. Tapia into the channel. Lapadula into the box. Tried to maneuver just beyond Bailey Wright. Does win a corner. It is Peru's first of the match. So much energy and emotion in the stands. The travelling support of Peru, mightily impressive once again. They travel in such numbers and with such joy. Can the players give them something to celebrate here? Cristian Cueva to take Peru's first corner of the match. And in it comes. It's been cleared as far as Peña. Guided back to Advíncula. Peña, Cueva, Carrillo demanded it and has it now. Andre Carrillo, clever pass, Peña, Cueva, who was swiftly closed down by Kai Rolls. And along comes a second corner in quick succession. The referee just having a word with Lapadula. Take two for Cueva. In it comes. And it was very well cleared by Rolls. And Peru forced all the way back now to Gallese. Pressure on Trauco. Gallese up towards the halfway line, intercepted by Mooy. Atkinson, deep raking pass, runs all the way through to Matthew Leckie, volleyed cross. And the header away by Trauco. And the assistant referee has raised his flag. Perhaps the ball had already gone off for Leckie. Indeed it had. Leckie said he was more than happy to play the centre-forward role again, if that's what head coach Graham Arnold desired. But as it turns out, Leckie restored to the left flank. Mitch Duke selected as the centre-forward. Tapia on the turn. And it runs all the way through to another player who plays in Spain, Matty Ryan. And it is time now for the Socceroos to build from the back. A reminder that we must have a result tonight. Extra time and penalties are a possibility. The 31st World Cup place will be assigned tonight, and tomorrow night Costa Rica and New Zealand are here to play their intercontinental playoff. Leckie, delicate, finding Jackson Irvine. He returns it. This is Leckie. In slid Tapia. Duke with the pass. This is Aaron Mooy. It opened up for the midfielder. He had room to strike but didn't catch the finish. And the shake of the head says it all. Aaron Mooy now plays his club football in China with Shanghai Port. Has previous Premier League experience in England, where he played for Huddersfield Town and Brighton and Hove Albion. Luis Advíncula to take the throw-in. His goal in Quito a year ago clinched Peru's first win of the qualification group. It was such a key goal. Lapadula has found Carrillo. Andre Carrillo onto the right boot. He has support. It goes wide. The cross to the back post is uncontested for Peru. Not enough Peruvian players took the gamble to get themselves into the box there. And now a loose foot from Jackson Irvine has presented Peru with a free kick. A high boot. Peru's chance to deliver. Peña slightly undercooked the free kick, and he's in trouble now. Managed to recover. Otherwise, Leckie was away. Cueva, so sharp in mind, plays it to Peña. The cross looks good. An opportunity which is smothered by Ryan. Alert goalkeeping from the Australian captain. Peña had space, and his ball into the centre looked a good one. Christopher Gonzalez didn't quite manage to bring the ball under control. Leckie. Duke chasing with all he has, but he cannot keep that in. And across came Zambrano just to make sure. Peru have played the goal kick short and swift, and now Tapia sweeps it out to the left. It was a loose touch from Cueva, who has another chance now. Atkinson's pass touched back by Duke. Bailey right for Behic. Now Irvine to the feet of Leckie, who was able to turn. Duke wins it back. Behic turning away from the challenge. Duke up the line. Irvine. Behic giving chase and appealing for the corner, which has been awarded. Australia's third corner of the match. It is their first since half-time. And as he did in the first half, it will be Aaron Moy to take. Plenty of Australian support behind the goal. They are attacking now. Moy with the corner. Gayese came and punched clear. It was an awkward one for the goalkeeper. Carrillo. Moy. Away by Trauco. Neat from Cueva, and there is space here for Gonzalez. Carrillo sending it wide. Christian Cueva has the fullback on the overlap. Australia able to retreat, and Peru must now play the patient game. Here is Carlos Zambrano working it across for Advíncula. Peru were without a win after their opening 5 matches in World Cup qualification, but they ended up winning 7 of their 18 games in total and finishing 5th in the group, earning their place in this playoff. They are coming forward now with Trauco. Low cross away by Moy, only as far as Gonzalez. Miguel Trauco can try again. This time Kai Rolls heads clear. It opened up for Gonzalez. Carrillo gives it to Peña. Advíncula. Nutmeg pass, finding Andre Carrillo, who tried to return it to the Boca Juniors fullback. We are approaching the hour mark in Al Rayyan. A city a short distance, around about 30-minute drive from Doha. 2 of the World Cup venues are situated in this city, Education City being the other. This stadium, the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium, will host 7 matches at the FIFA World Cup later this year. 6 group stage encounters and 1 round of 16 knockout tie. Wales will play all 3 group stage games here. Long from Bekic. Boyle, super control, appeals for handball. It bounced off Trauco, who has it back from Cueva. Play continues up the line towards Lapadula. Australia have it back. Cayennes clears. Cueva thwarted there by Moy, who has provided such an intelligent presence in the Australian midfield. And now a slight flashing of tempers involving Leckie and Advíncula. Graham Arnold described Peru as playing quite off the cuff. So far, the Socceroos have managed to contain them tonight. It's been a disciplined display. Excellent turn in the midfield by Christopher Gonzalez. He finds Cueva. Peru looking sharp. This is Carrillo, unselfish. And the block was made by Behic. Advíncula wide for Carrillo. Carrillo still. There's the cross. Taxing one for Ryan. Boyle away. Matty Ryan at full stretch there. An excellent piece of wing play from Andre Carrillo. So often the inspiration for Peru. The man of the match when these sides met 4 years ago in Sochi. Here he is again. Carrillo for Advíncula. This time the pass was loose. It was Jackson Irvine who got the boot on it, but Peru have it back. Trauco. Zambrano. Australia defending with such discipline and unity here. Peru looking to prize them open. That is a good ball for Miguel Trauco. His cross does reach Cueva. Back again now with the fullback. And he is thwarted by Nathaniel Atkinson. And it is time for a change in the eyes of Ricardo Gareca. Carrillo will make way. And it is Flores, Edison Flores, who will replace him now. Flores plays his club football in the United States of America with DC United. He scored 2 goals in qualifying, a late winner in Barranquilla in January of this year, and an equaliser against Ecuador. They were both key strikes for Peru. He has 25 minutes to make his mark. A player who is dubbed as a future captain of the national team, now 28. Edison Flores was the player of the tournament at the 2011 Copa Libertadores under-20, playing for Universitario. Peru's free kick. Christian Cueva is leaving it for Trauco, who delivers with pace. Lecky clears, but it was only as far as Peña, who was ambitious with the strike and unsuccessful. We've been together for 7 years on a wonderful journey that has involved overcoming difficulties together. Those are the words of Gareca on the eve of this match. Plenty of difficulties to overcome tonight, with Australia putting in such a solid and resistant display. Australia's turn to enjoy some possession and show some patience. Atkinson is looking for Irvine, and Vincula clears. Tapia gets there first. Jackson Irvine in very swiftly to make the challenge on Peña. Up the line by Trauco. Gonzalez, very neat feet. In for Cueva, who's under pressure. Tapia, first time. Slightly too close to Bailey with the pass. Leckie taking on Peña in towards Duke. Zambrano did well. Now Gonzalez sending it wide for Cueva. Lapadula is through the centre. This is Christian Cueva into the penalty area. Cueva still, and it's side netting. The challenge never really came from Atkinson. And in the end, it never needed to. Australia now making their first change. Duke is off, and it is Awer Mabil who comes on to replace him. Mabil was born in Kenya to parents of South Sudan. His family lived in a refugee camp until Awer was 11, which is when they moved to Australia. A remarkable story. He scored the winning goal in the recent friendly against Jordan at the Al Janoub Stadium. And his introduction means a slightly changed role for Leckie, who has moved into the centre-forward position, replacing Duke. Away as far as Lapadula. Here is Cueva again. He's seen plenty of the ball. Zambrano is asking where the support is. Dispossessed, and a possible break now for Australia. The pass was just behind Leckie, but the foul came in on Hrustic. Both head coaches have made one change. Still, there is nothing to separate Australia and Peru. We're into the final 20 minutes in Al Rayyan. Tapia with the challenge on Hrustic. This is Bailey Wright for Bekic. Mabil offering width. Wright to the feet of Moy. Boyle. into the path of Moy. And what a super challenge it was from Gianluca Lapadula, tracking back to win possession, giving it to Cueva, and the break is on now for Peru. Cueva finding Flores, who went for goal, valiantly closed down by Irvine. Possession regained. Forward comes Advincula. Flores returning it to the fullback. Forced wide and forced off. It's a goal kick. Plenty of instructions raining down from Gareca. Called Australia a technically and physically strong side. In many ways, he said there were similarities with his Peru team. And there is parity in the scoreline. Goalless at the Ahmad bin Ali Stadium. So much at stake. A place in the World Cup finals for one of these two nations. Peña. A lapse in concentration from Trauco. The ball ran under his foot. Still, no shots on target. Leckie giving chase to Bailey Wright's pass, well shielded by Zambrano. What a spectacular choir we have in the house tonight. The Peruvian spectators in full and wonderful voice. Trying to urge their team on. We're into the final 15 minutes now. Peña was looking for Flores. Forward by Renato Tapia. Irvine, first time pass, went straight to Trauco. This is Alexander Cayens to the feet of Gonzalez. Cueva sending it back to Trauco. Now Tapia. The ball is a good one for Advincula. Side foot cross, turned away by Atkinson. Leckie first time. Krustik down for Mabil. And back in towards the substitute. Peña. Dispossessed by Leckie. Tapia won it back. Flores goes to ground. No foul, says the referee. Moy away from the challenge of Gonzalez, up the line for Boyle. It ran away from the winger. Hrustik's challenge on the halfway line. Mabil forward, and here is Hrustik. Leckie. Mabil. And what a clean challenge it was to prevent Mabil from going any further. Now Lapadula applying the pressure. Kai Rolls passing the test. Mabil. Irvine. For Mabil, and Advincula had to be quick and strong, and he was. The majority of the spectators inside the ground tonight are in in white and red, but there are a good portion in green and gold, mostly behind the goal to your left, behind Gayese's goal. Flicked on by Peña, away by Rolls. This is Tapia for Flores, who has swapped flanks now with Cueva. Can that change bear fruit? Mabil. Leckie. Wonderful touch from Boyle, although it just showed too much to Cayennes. Hrustik won it back. And the ball is given straight to Boyle, who is bundled over. Australia's free kick. A clash of the sixes. Trauco's foul. Gareca is preparing a change for Peru. Plenty for Arnold to ponder. Looks as if Ajdin Hrustik of Eintracht Frankfurt will take the free kick. And here is that change. It's a change in the midfield with Sergio Peña making way. And it will be Pedro Aquino on to replace him. Second change made by Peru. Fresh legs in the midfield. And the first thing Aquino will have to do is defend. Gallese trying to organise. He has just one in the wall. Hrustik standing over this set piece, a long way out. Moy also there. Hrustik has gone for goal, he's hit the target, but that is comfortable for Pedro Gallese. Tapia into the channel for Lapadula to chase. Jackson Irvine, smart turn away from Aquino, then finds Aaron Moy. Space opening up now for Australia. This is Boyle, sets it back to the wise head of Moy. Hrustik into the box. Mabil made the run, anticipated by Gallese. Some commanding goalkeeping. There is the number 9, Gianluca Lapadula, born in Turin, spent 8 years in the Juventus Youth Academy, And the ball just ran away from him there. A player who admired Alessandro Del Piero growing up. Lapadula hit goal-scoring form towards the latter end of the qualification campaign. He scored the opening goal in vital wins against Bolivia, Venezuela and Paraguay. Also scored the only goal in the recent friendly against New Zealand, which Peru won 1-0. These are nervous moments at the Ahmad bin Ali Stadium. So much on the line. And very little time remaining. Cayens lacking some synergy there with Miguel Trauco. Gareca perplexed. Both he and his assistant Solano were keen to enforce the idea, the notion that Peru must play with freedom today, despite it being a one-leg game, a one-off playoff. Commanding header from Kai Rolls. Moy with the turn and the ball towards the flank. Mabil keeps it alive and delivers to the near post. Not quite cleared. Tapia with the header. Looked promising there for Australia. Awer Mabil providing the cross. And here he is again with a neat pass. Advincula has been caught out of position. Behic is still going. The fullback will go for goal! And he is not too far away. As is Behic, close to a wonder goal. Away from Tapia, beyond Aquino. Set his sights on the bottom corner and so nearly found it. It is the closest we have come to a goal so far. Long ball up towards Lapadula. Just ran behind him. Irvine. Moy. Hrustic. Space between the lines. Having a look up now and delivering. Advincula clears. Moy is there first. Good spell for Australia. Peru have a player down. The referee blows his whistle. Treatment is required on the halfway line for Christian Cueva. Possibly a problem with the right calf or hamstring. He needs attention. Pause for thought and time for a change. Matthew Leckie will make way, and with 5 minutes to play, it is Jamie McLaren, who was Australia's top goal scorer with 7 in qualification, who is coming on. A chance for Gareca to offer some advice and for all of the players to take on some much needed fluids.
Well, apologies for that. We seem to have lost our commentator, Tim Lee, at pretty much the most important moments of this intercontinental playoff. Still goalless, but what a chance for Australia just a few moments ago, as East Burhitch with the chance. And as things stand, we are heading to extra time at the Abid Ben Ali Stadium in Al Rayyan, as we wait to see how many added on minutes we'll get at the conclusion of the second half. Pleased to say that Tim Lee is back. Let's rejoin him then for the final few minutes of this second half.
Tapia, delicate ball and a good one for Trauco. This is Christopher Gonzalez. Tapia poked forward only as far as Bailey Wright. Tapia tries to win it back. Into the final minute of the 90. Australia twice coming close to finding the back of the net. Mabil with the awareness to pick out Hrustic, and his cultured left foot managed to hit the bottom corner. What a vital save there from Gallese. Cueva's flick, Lapadula around the corner, Cueva thwarted by Kai Rolls. Important intervention by the defender. Flores lifting it for Advincula. We are into added time. Cueva, Advincula, Irvine away. There will be a minimum of 3 extra minutes. These are the late stages of an intercontinental playoff. A place at the World Cup finals in Qatar at stake. Just 2.5 minutes remain. Behic flashed wide. Hrustic hit the target. It is Australia who have come closest to booking their place in Qatar 2022, but still it is goalless at the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium. Now Boyle has options in the centre, and down goes Jackson Irvine. No foul. They're coming together between Irvine and Carlos Zambrano. Clear what Irvine thought of it. The check is over, and on we go. Rolls has a look forward and was looking there for McLaren. Final minute of added time. Peru have created very little. A headed chance for Lapadula early on, but not much since. Cayennes looking long. Wright wins the header. Flores down for Aquino. Advincula up against Mabil, protected the ball. Aquino lifting it, finding Trauco. Flores, now Cueva. Flores able to turn, and the cross is beyond everybody and over the crossbar. And that is the final piece of action. The referee Slavko Vincic blows the full-time whistle. There is nothing between these sides, and we are heading to extra time. The score after 90 minutes, Australia 0, Peru 0.
Interesting. At the Ahmed Ben Ali Stadium in Al Rayyan. Time for an additional 30 now to decide who will become the 31st nation to qualify for the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. Australia, 2 attempts on target. Peru with none. What have you made of what we've seen?
I think Australia defended way better. They're more compact there, and therefore they can attack better. I think there is a more running behind. That's why they're creating those last 2 chances. They were really, really good. You know, the cross and the shot from the left back. But yeah, they're closing in, and Peru, yeah, they're still the same. You know, they can't have that sparks, that creativity that will wait for them. You know, there's no runs in behind. They're really poor in the last third. So that's why they're struggling. That's why I was talking. You know, those runs in behind. You know, they're getting into those challenges, and then they can get dangerous. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, it was all about Australia in the first half. Ball down the right-hand side with some quality crosses. Movement should have been better, as you expect. Peru did something about his second half, but really didn't have anything to show. This is a glorious opportunity as well from BH, the full-back. Cuts inside. You think, is this going to be the goal? Seems to do everything right.
Take it further.
Nah, it's difficult there. It's just, I mean, give him a chance. He's already run for 30 yards. So all of a sudden, he just and all of a sudden, from them coming out of Peru, then Australia towards the end of the second half started to look the more threatening and get a grip of the game. Once again, good opportunity working down the left-hand side. Same thing as what Didier said then. There's tired legs now. What the defenders don't want to do is run in behind them. So try and stretch them a little bit. It's really a case of who really wants it. It looks like they're both, they try and nullify each other, but haven't got the interest or the quality to try and score goals. And it just seems to be, you're looking at it, you're thinking, these two aren't going to score goals at all. And it has that feeling, so we need a little bit of quality, a bit of a spark.
Yeah. But Australia were close, huh?
With 2 great chances.
They're 2 great chances, and I think what they do, they do it with more technique. They're more precise. They're more accurate, you know, in their runs. It's just the finishing, you know. They should have done a little bit better, of course, but they hit the post, I think. But and Peru, it's still not clear, you know, where they want to head, how they want to play, how they want to attack, and yes, Lapadula is looking way alone, way isolated up front. Yeah.
But you look at the crowd there, you know, they've not had anything really to cheer about, the Peru fans. They're there, they try to get it going a bit second half. You know, they need something. If they do get a goal there, it's going to lift the stadium. You know, and I think the longer the game goes on, it goes into the hands of Australia. We saw briefly at the end, we saw Boyle in the first half, but second half there was one opportunity again down the right-hand side. His selection with that final cross has to be better. You know, he does everything right, he's getting into the right areas. Just try and pick that right pass, get that perfect crossing if he can. That could be the difference.
Yeah. I can see probably an argument tonight.
Yes, one of those will be in the spare bedroom tonight.
Thanks, Nick. Well, the crowd have certainly given us plenty to cheer about. The old Kangaroos out, the Socceroos. I mean, of course, let's just say there are penalties as well if it's still not decided after this additional 30. What do you do?
Oh, penalties to go into a World Cup.
No, what do you do now? I mean, do you continue as you are? Or do you just kill the game off as early as possible?
If they're obviously trying to get that goal, but you know, if I'm the 2 managers there, I'm more happy being with Australia. And I just think you've seen them having a little bit of a go second half. Come on, get a grip of it. can we try and create like we have done through the game? And when we do get that chance, let's try and make it. Let's try and get that first goal. I think whoever gets this goal now, I think it's going to be all over. And it's looking more towards Australia. You're looking at Peru and you're wondering where that goal's going to come from.
Atkinson off for Karacic. There were rumours at the start of the night that it would be Karacic that would start. After that 90 has been changed for Australia. So here we go then. Extra time in the first of two intercontinental playoffs. New Zealand, Costa Rica to come tomorrow. Its goal is here tonight between Australia and Peru. Whoever wins will become the 31st team to qualify for the World Cup. Let's rejoin Tim Lee.
So as he did in the first half, Gianluca Lapadula gets us underway as we commence extra time in Al Rayyan, an intercontinental playoff with a place at the World Cup finals at stake. The green and gold up against the red and white, Australia versus Peru. 0-0 after 90. What does extra time have in store? 30 minutes in the heat. Tense minutes ahead for both Gareca and Arnold. Cueva threading the pass for Flores, and it just ran away from him. PM now in Lima, 6 AM in Sydney. A wonderful exchange of passes. This is Aquino. Set back by Lapadula, some space for Cueva, who tried to return it to the centre forward. Hrustic, so tidy and intelligent. Space for Moy. Tapia chases him and lunges in, and it is given away by Karacic. A grimace from Aquino. Aquino started one match at Russia 2018. It was the second group stage game against France. He was caught. It is Peru's free kick, but meanwhile it is Ajdin Hrustic who is suffering. Helped up by the referee. And here comes that chorus again. Wonderful scenes in the stands. A hesitation from Tapia. It didn't cost him. This is Trauco going long, aiming for Lapadula. And it's fallen now for Edison Flores. And arriving it was Gonzalez. Ball ran away from him. And now the challenge on Boyle is an overzealous one. A foul by Miguel Trauco. Martin Boyle was such a threat in the first half of normal time. Not quite the same impact in the second period. The possession has been pretty equal tonight between these two sides. 2 shots on target from Australia, none so far for Peru. Foul by Tapia on Jackson Irvine. And the free kick played short. Australia happy to build patiently. Karacic up the line. McLaren with the header inside. Boyle couldn't quite pick up the pass. Cueva still. The challenge was a good one from Fran Karacic. Now Hrustic across the equator and through the legs of Aquino. Wide for Karacic. This looks promising for Australia. Important clearance from Alexander Cayens. Trauco. Gonzalez away from Jackson Irvine, and there is space now in the midfield. Edison Flores across the halfway line for Peru. Lapadula makes the movement. Flores saw it and gives the pass into the channel. Flores again, two in the centre. Set back to Tapia. Tapia. There was space for Flores, but he couldn't execute the pass, and his expression says everything. A player of his quality, he knows he could have found his teammate Edison Flores there. Some fatigue perhaps creeping in, and understandably so. That is loose. Possession squandered. Here is Cueva. Peru in possession, just in front of the Australia head coach, Graham Arnold. Neat triangles from Gareca's side. Cueva. Back to Trauco. Space for Carlos Zambrano. And he moves into the space. He's still going. Wide for Advincula, who had to be quick to keep that in. First time delivery, flicked on by Flores. An opportunity which was cleared by Karacic. It's been a busy introduction for Fran Karacic, who plays his club football in Italy with Brescia Calcio. It is Tapia of Celta Vigo, who was down, is back up now, not moving too freely. A grimace from him as he prepares to continue. It's been an intriguing battle as he acts as the Peruvian anchor, and Aaron Moy does the same for Australia. Advincula. Tapia. High pass. It is Aquino. Cayens striding forward across the halfway line. Gonzalez, first time pass from Cueva. Tapia in space, returns it to Christian Cueva. This is Flores, who will go for goal, and it is Peru's first shot on target tonight. Straight at Matty Ryan, but it is progress nonetheless. Edison Flores, who came on with 25 minutes to play, replacing Carrillo, with that clean strike. High from Karacic. Zambrano was underneath. Gonzalez battling, so too is Wright. And Wright has gone straight through Lapadula. The quick free kick is prohibited. And the reason being, it is Australia's ball. Boyle. In the end, just lost his balance, Martin Boyle. Forward by Trauco. Bailey Wright wins the header. Aquino to Cueva. Cueva needed help. Gonzalez played the pass too far in front. And now Lustig. Just behind Boyle. Trauco trying to unlock the Australian defence. Lapadula thought for a moment he had, but Bailey Wright was there, commanding once again in central defence. Ten minutes of extra time gone. Advíncula. Back to Zambrano, who hasn't scored for Peru since 2014. His long ball forward to the chest of Lapadula. Aquino's underneath this high one. A composed header back to Trauco. Moy forward. Trauco wins the header. Tapia is there, took it on the thigh. Flores. Good strength, however. He's been penalised now. Up came the right hand, and it caught Martin Boyle. And Flores receives a yellow card for that one. It is only the second card of the night. The first came way back in the 12th minute. Irvine beginning deep. Challenge from Tapia up towards Lapadula, who tries to roll Kai Rolls and does so illegally. There's the apology. Australia happy to get the ball moving swiftly. If we are still level at the end of extra time, there will be a penalty shootout to separate these sides. Irvine for Mabil. Awer Mabil taking on Cueva, taking on Advíncula, and going still. In the end, Aquino made the challenge. Mabil still down. Was a bright run. Then came the tackle from Pedro Aquino, who won the ball initially and then caught Mabil afterwards, and he needs treatment. Now the physios have made the journey. Here they are, and the referee is just communicating to them that they are in fact not needed, so off they go. A pensive-looking Graham Arnold. When Australia qualified for the World Cup in 2006, they did so on penalties. Are we heading towards penalties tonight? It has been a tight game, as Gallese predicted. Just 3 shots on target so far, 2 of those for Australia. Long from Gallese. Right with another commanding header. Final minute of the first half of extra time. Aquino is under pressure here, manages to head it back to Zambrano, who plays it to the goalkeeper, and that is all we have time for in the first period of extra time. Slavko Vincic blows his whistle, and the players head across now for some brief respite. There are still 15 minutes to play. The score at the end of the first half of extra time is Australia 0, Peru 0.
Yes, so on we go then. Penalties looming large at the Ahmed Bin Ali Stadium in Al Rayyan. What did you make of that first half of extra time?
No different than the rest of the game, to be honest with you. It's just got penalties up written all over this. Unless something actually happens in this second part, and there's some tired legs out there. And I just can't see it. It's not been that type of game all the way through. Unless there's going to be a hero there out of the 2 teams, it would surprise me. But no, it's no. I expect a little bit more. Then it's only going to, because of the tired legs, it's possibly going to get a little bit worse for this final part. And I fully expect penalties. If I'm really honest with you.
Yeah, I think we're headed to the penalties. I don't maybe a set piece. We never know in football, but the way it's getting, physically, the level dropped drastically in that first half of the extra time. I think Australia has got those legs at the end of the game, but now it's just to control, to concede, and yes, I think we're headed to the penalties on this one. I still think maybe Australia has got a little bit more legs, but still not very creative, and yeah. It's not the best game that we've seen this year, but it's totally normal sometimes,
Well,
so much nerves.
The prize is huge, Didier. The place at the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022, and I mean, there will be nerves. It will be edgy. But there's no denying it. They've left everything out on that pitch tonight.
They have, yeah. It's difficult. Sometimes you don't get games when there's plenty of opportunities and goals. There is an awful lot at stake here. But I think when you look at penalties now and what you see more recently is they work on it a lot more now, and the quality of the penalties. How many penalty shootouts have we seen this season? So maybe that's something where they're probably a little bit more confident and they're happy going into penalties. Maybe that's something that they're both looking at.
Who will be brave, or are we going to penalties? Let's rejoin Tim Lee.
Between Australia and Peru, with a place at the World Cup finals at stake. The second period of extra time is now underway. Australia in green and gold, kicking from right to left. Aquino. Back to Tapia. Outside of the boot, up the channel for Flores, who has won it from right. Edison Flores into the box, unselfish! And the cutback seemed to be just behind Cueva. Lapadula was in the centre, and he is asking why he didn't get the service. It's the first time Peru have got beyond Bailey Wright all evening. Flores unselfish, but it was awkward for Cueva. Had to stretch to try and engineer the finish. It is a chance that has given new life to the supporters. Right, firm header away. Aquino's anticipation. Cueva. First time delivery in towards Flores! Back off the post and off the line by Wright. Now Aquino, inventive and over the top. So fine are the margins. Flores nearly won it here for Peru, a downward header. After Irvin hadn't quite cleared, it was Aquino who tried to work Matty Ryan. Behic was complaining that he was fouled. What a colossal effort it was from Flores, who climbed so well there to meet the cross. He scored some big goals on the road to this playoff. So close there to giving Peru the lead in extra time. The game just seems to be opening up slightly. Tapia for Advincula. Coming infield and going for goal. So much confidence from the right back. He was a fair distance from goal and on his weaker foot, but still took on the shot and generated plenty of power. Peru in the ascendancy in the second period of extra time. Long from Ryan. Trauco couldn't quite clear. He was in an awkward position under the challenge of Lustig. This is Karacic, who is taking the long throw-in. Into the box it goes. Irvine's header falling for Mabil, and it was just beyond McLaren. Very deliberate movement from Jackson Irvine. And a half chance for Awer Mabil. Well, you just wonder how much the prospect of a penalty shootout is weighing on the minds of these players now. Graham Arnold did say that his team would be ready for that eventuality. He said they have been practicing penalties and trying to recreate the match situation as much as they can. He has been involved, Arnold, in every Socceroo shootout, he reminded the press. Peru, too, have had their fair share recently. They came through penalty shootouts victoriously in both Copa America 2019 and Copa America 2021, beating first Uruguay, then Paraguay in those shootouts. Moy. Well, one of Australia's greatest World Cup qualification memories came back in 2005 when they overcame South American opposition to book their place at the World Cup finals, beating Uruguay on penalties. Foul by Aquino. Clattered into Mabil there. So, defensive work for Peru. Gallese on full alert. A conversation between Moy and Hrustic about who will take this. It is Hrustic, away by Tapia. Difficult here for Advincula, he did well. Behic, back to Rolls. Karadzic, underhit the pass and squandered possession. That was neat from Gonzalez. Now Cueva into space. Gianluca Lapadula won't reach that. And players are feeling the effects of this grueling encounter. Cueva's been down already, he's cramping up now. The cogs are turning for Gareca. A head coach who has worked in Argentina, Colombia, Peru and Brazil. Had a very successful spell with Vélez Sarsfield between 2009 and 2013. And it gives us the opportunity to have another look at the Flores header. Down against the woodwork. The closest we have come to a goal. Peru began the second period of extra time with such verve. They are being forced into a change now. And it is Alex Valera who is ready to come on. Valera scored 2 goals for Peru in friendlies back in January. And he has been in prolific form at club level, playing for Universitario Lima. Relatively new to the national team. And what a big opportunity he has now. Looks as if Cueva cannot continue. The support is undiminished. A long wait for Valera, because away from your picture, Cueva is being stretchered off. And there he is in great discomfort. And here comes the change. Alex Valera into the fold with 5 minutes to play. Well, you have to imagine that Cueva probably would have been one of Peru's penalty takers. Of course, that is an impossibility now. Can either team force a late winner? A goal now would leave very little time for a response. Both teams have come close. Behic and Hrustic for Australia. Flores the closest for Peru. And it will be now Aaron Moy to deliver this free kick forward for Australia. It is a deep and dipping free kick, turned away by Tapia. Advincula happy to take the throw in, and now it is Aziz Behic who is suffering with cramp. Temperatures earlier on today did hit 38 degrees Celsius. This is an air-conditioned stadium, as all of the World Cup venues are. But nonetheless, after 117 minutes of such intense battle, the players are feeling the strain. And if we do go to penalties, there will be some heavy legs that need to drag themselves to the nervous position of the penalty spot. Cayens. Flicked in field by Gonzalez. There is some space here for Flores. Onto that trusty left boot. Tried to squeeze the pass back to Gonzalez. Has done so now. And it is off for a goal kick. In fact, it was Valera, the substitute, who couldn't quite keep it in. So Alex Valera has picked up the position that Cueva was operating in. Over towards the left flank for Peru. Tapia's header. Lapadula competing, flicked on by Irvin. It's been a big shift from Christopher Gonzalez in today, ahead of Yoshima Yotun, the midfielder who was unavailable for Peru because of injury. Final change being prepared now by Arnold, and it is Craig Goodwin ready to come on. It looks as if Aziz Behic can last no more. How close he came to winning this in normal time. He has given everything he has, and this is an attacking change late on from Arnold. Well, this is very interesting indeed, because whilst Goodwin will come on for Behic, it looks as if Matty Ryan will not participate in the penalty shootout. A 120th minute substitution, which sees Andrew Redmayne enter the field of play. He has played only twice previously for Australia. 33 years of age, goalkeeper for Sydney FC, and he is on as a specialist for the penalty shootout. It is a big call from Graham Arnold. We will have a minimum of 3 extra minutes. Valera. Back came Karacic, sliding in to clear. Long throwing being wound up by Trauco, and it goes towards Tapia. Mabil clears. Back from Trauco. Cayens wide towards Advincula. Peru still have players forward. Advincula dispossessed by Krustik. It runs away from Mabil. Across comes Aquino. Strong challenge from Mabil. And it is Australia's throw-in. Much to the disagreement and displeasure of those on the Peruvian bench. The nervous energy inside the stadium is palpable. Long from Goodwin. It is beyond McLaren, and there is some hesitation in the back line for Peru. This is Cayens, in the end, completing the pass, the headed pass to Zambrano. Zambrano up the line. Flores under pressure from Goodwin. Flores has committed the foul on Jackson Irvine. Has been yellow carded already. That infringement not worthy of a second. And so here we are in the final minute of added time at the end of extra time. Australia have brought on Redmayne as a specialist goalkeeper for the shootout, but they have now a set piece which will be delayed because Jackson Irvine is cramping up. Craig Goodwin, a set-piece specialist who is filling in presently at left-back, will take this. It is surely the last opportunity of this intercontinental playoff. Can Australia produce a moment and book their place at the World Cup finals? Goodwin delivers with pace and purpose. Lifted back into the box rather harmlessly, and it is a simple catch for the Peruvian captain. We have had the 3 additional minutes. We've had 90, we've had 30 extra, and there is still nothing between these sides. In order to determine who goes to the World Cup in Qatar, we will have a penalty shootout between Australia and Peru.
Well, it's not the nicest way, but perhaps it is the only way to decide who plays at the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. For Peru and Australia, they have left everything out on that pitch tonight. But in the end, it remains goalless after 120 minutes. Change of goalkeeper for the Socceroos. What a moment. Seems to recall back in, was it 2005, when Australia beat Uruguay on penalties, that they were going to bring on Kalac on for Swartzer. He was warming up in extra time, and then one of the players pulled up, I think it was Everton, and instead they didn't change the goalkeeper. Graham Arnold, the assistant manager that day, under Gusinik. But for Peru, they had that one great chance in extra time. Did he, Nick? It was, wasn't it? He did everything right apart from score.
Yeah, he does everything. They work it well on the left-hand side. Decent cross into the box. There was a bit of excitement when Flores came on because he'd been scoring goals recently. And this was a great chance. Just didn't go in. And you thought, well, that was the chance there. He did everything right header. Just needed to go into that bottom corner. Does everything, beats the keeper, but the post is there. You know, and it's every player's dream to play in a World Cup and to come down. Listen, they didn't deserve to do it, and both teams nullified themselves. Australia slightly better opportunities, but this is harsh. This whoever loses out the penalty shootout, so close to be going to the World Cup, would be devastating, really. So there's added pressure, tired legs, put everything into the equation, but you know, one set of these fans are going to be delighted leaving this stadium, and in their own, and in the country as well, and the other ones are going to be absolutely distraught. So it's an awful way to go out, but it had that all the way through it. It just didn't seem to be that quality from either side to finish the other one off.
I see a lot of laughs in Peru's team. Now, you know, I can see them. They're quite not confident, but not nervous. Let's see what he's going to do. But yeah, penalties. This is you see a lot more. You know, teams are changing their goalkeepers. Sometimes it's working, sometimes not. Let's see for
Are you
Australia.
A fan? Chelsea did, of course.
Yeah, because you know, goalkeepers, they've got strength. You know, some in the air, some maybe on his line, some on penalties. So I can totally understand. I remember we had Nigel de Jong just before the game, and his team, in 2014, it went really well. When they changed goalkeeper. We've seen that recently. It didn't work with Chelsea.
Yeah,
exactly. So. Let's hope. The Australian goalkeeper is really massive, so it takes a lot of place in the goal. So and it should be good. So yes, but to go World Cup, on penalties, it's always.
Is it
really
worth
difficult.
the gamble to make that change?
Yeah, it was a lot
FIFA
more thought goes into penalties now, as we've seen. I don't think anybody thought about it 10 years ago. You had a bit of an idea who was going to take it, who was up for it at the time, but there's a lot more thought goes into it and a lot more quality involved. But just saying as well about what makes it even more difficult for both these two teams, they are in Qatar now. So it's great if you win, wonderful, but if you lose, this is where the party is. You're driving away from where it is. Imagine that sort of feeling when you're there. You know what the stadium's about. You're so close to it. So it's a real difficult and a hard one, but out of the penalty shootouts we've seen this year, they were fantastic, especially Liverpool and Chelsea. Some of the penalties what are taken there were real top quality. You'd say that even with the Rangers and Frankfurt, that went through to penalties as well. And you'll see how much more quality the penalties will be tonight. So it's a difficult call, and maybe the goalkeeper's going to be the hero. Maybe that's going to be a good call, but I don't see that being a problem. If he's fresh and he looks a better saver or got more of a chance of saving the penalties, why don't you make the change? I don't think it's a problem at all.
Well, Matty Ryan didn't care, did he? He was straight out there with Graham Arnold, the coach, and Redmayne. What do you do? Go first?
Yes.
You?
There was a study about penalties in Europe in the first three leagues, and when you start first, you have greater chance just to win the penalty shootout. Not all the time, of course. Every game is different. Every game has its history, but you put pressure on the other team. Of course, if you score first and for goalkeepers as well, you have 5 changes since the COVID, so it's easier as well, for some teams just to change the goalkeeper at the end. But I don't know who's going to start first, but if he scores, always an advantage. Yeah?
Well, we saw plenty of players dropping to the floor with cramp. There will be some tired, heavy legs out there at the Ahmed Bin Ali Stadium in RIM. A brief moment for reflection and what's at stake for either nation. Peru looking to reach successive FIFA World Cups. Australia 5 in a row. Can the Socceroos do what they did back in Australia in 2005? Who do you fancy?
I might turn it around now. I said Peru at the start, I'm going to say Australia. We have to go the opposite way, but it's quite bizarre because they couldn't score in normal time and extra time, and now they're expected to score, so expected to put a bit of quality. It's not an easy situation, this at all, because of what's at stake.
Yeah, still fancy Australia. It's still a technical exercise, but a mental exercise as well. So don't think about the consequences and choose a side and go with determination. So let's see.
Well, here we go then. A place at the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. Australia or Peru? Let's rejoin Tim Lee for the penalty shootouts.
Martin Boyle, who began this game with such a bang, a real threat on the right flank for Australia, now takes the first penalty kick, and it is saved! A dream start for Gallese. The Peruvian goalkeeper was immense there. Made himself huge. Bitter disappointment for Boyle. Can Gianluca Lapadula enforce the advantage. Redmayne dancing on the line. Lapadula scores. Peru have the advantage. 1 goal to the good after the first round of penalties. Gianluca Lapadula, unfazed by Redmayne's antics, fired that home with a clinical edge which brings joy to his teammates. And up second for the Socceroos, it's Aaron Mooy. Mosca's spot kick. Plenty of power. He drove that beyond the dive of Gallese. And now it is centre-back Alexander Cayens. A talking to from the referee. Cayens marks out his run-up. Penalty number 2 for Peru, and the defender has scored. That is a superb penalty. Curled it high into the corner and dances in delight. Now heads across to his goalkeeper to offer encouragement. Cool as you like from the man that plays his club football in New York. It is the substitute, Craig Goodwin, who is up third for Australia. Plenty of whistles raining down from the Peruvian supporters. An uncompromising atmosphere. Goodwin has scored. That is a superb penalty kick. Nerveless from the substitute. And it brings Australia level at 2-2. And it is the fullback, Luis Advincula, who has come forward now. Advincula up against Redmayne. The Australian goalkeeper continues to dance. Advincula has hit the post. Peru's advantage has gone. Joy for Redmayne. The only question is, did he keep a foot above the line? Advincula sufficiently put off, missed the target. And we are at 2-2 after 3 each. Ajdin Hrustic scored in the penalty shootout for Eintracht Frankfurt in the recent UEFA Europa League final in Seville. Can Australia take the lead for the first time in this shootout? Hrustic is very calm indeed, sends Gayesi the wrong way, rolls it home, and Australia lead 3-2. It is a long walk forward for Renato Tapia. A tireless performance in the midfield. Back from injury to play in this match. He's gone the distance, and now he steps up to take the 4th penalty for Peru. More antics from Redmayne. Renato Tapia has scored for Peru. They are level at 3 apiece. Redmayne beaten. The goalkeeper went the right way. Enough height on the kick from Tapia. And so, we move on to spot kick number 5. And for the green and gold of Australia, it is Jamie Maclaren, who was their top scorer in World Cup qualification. Introduced tonight as a substitute. Maclaren, nerveless, into the corner, into the lead, and Peru's dreams on a knife edge now. This is the penalty no one wants to take. The 10th of the shootout, when you have to score. Australia lead 4-3. It is Edison Flores who hit the woodwork in extra time. Andrew Redmayne, brought on for this shootout, continues to dance along the line. Flores under pressure. Flores deals with that pressure and sends us into sudden death. 5 penalties each. The score is 4-4. And we will continue now until there is disparity. Forward steps Awer Mabil. A lively performance off the bench, teed up Hrustic for that late chance inside the 90. First round of sudden death. Two audiences on opposite sides of the planet hold their breath. Australia or Peru, who is heading to the World Cup? Sudden death penalties, here we go. Mabil steps up and side foots home to give Australia an advantage. And he is geeing up the spectators behind that goal. And this is where, once again, Peru find themselves under pressure. An excellent penalty by Awer Mabil. And there is no margin for error. It is Valera who came off the bench in extra time. Alex Valera. He knows he has to score. Valera has it saved! Australia are heading to the World Cup finals. Andrew Redmayne is their hero. Spot kick. Plenty of power. He drove that beyond the dive of Gayese. And now it is centre-back Alexander Cayens. A talking to from the referee. Cayens marks out his run-up. Penalty number 2 for Peru, and the defender has scored. That is a superb penalty. Curled it high into the corner and dances in delight. Now heads across to his goalkeeper to offer encouragement. Cool as you like from the man that plays his club football in New York. It is the substitute, Craig Goodwin, who is up third for Australia. Plenty of whistles raining down from the Peruvian supporters. An uncompromising atmosphere. Goodwin has scored. That is a superb penalty kick. Nerveless from the substitute. And it brings Australia level at 2-2. And it is the fullback, Luis Advincula, who has come forward now. Advincula up against Redmayne. The Australian goalkeeper continues to dance. Advincula has hit the post. Peru's advantage has gone. Joy for Redmayne. The only question is, did he keep a foot above the line? Advincula sufficiently put off, missed the target. And we are at 2-2 after 3 each. Ajdin Hrustic scored in the penalty shootout for Eintracht Frankfurt in the recent UEFA Europa League final in Seville. Can Australia take the lead for the first time in this shootout? Hrustic is very calm indeed, sends Gayese the wrong way, rolls it home, and Australia lead 3-2. It is a long walk forward for Renato Tapia. A tireless performance in the midfield.